Welcome everybody into Klein Scott Field. My name is Adrian Holguin, and today will be the third from last game of the Rebels 2024 campaign. All of the remaining games will be played right here in Centennial Park, Klein Scott Field. Today, the Rebels have the Kingman Islanders coming in to their house and trying to get their second consecutive win in the second consecutive day, if that makes sense, over these Newton Rebels. Kinzer Newquist going to be the starting pitcher tonight on the mound for the Newton Rebels. Ben Walczak going to start us off in the batter's box for the Islanders. So far, thus far on the season, the Kingman Islanders 11-17, 11 wins, 17 losses. Going to try and grow the first total and not grow the second, if that makes sense here in Klein Scott Field. Kinzer Newquist fires in the first one. Newton Rebels is starting catcher tonight for behind home plate here in Klein Scott Field. Brings in the first ball of the ball game. First pitch of the ball game goes up top for ball number one. Second of which comes to the inside, going to be called ball number two. Now the Rebels can't afford to allow too many walks, if any, in this first half of play, as they do not want to allow a quick start by the Islanders. And that one going to go to Shenyan Zheng, second baseman, and then over to first base for the first out of this half inning. Big heads-up play by Shenyan Zheng of getting that hit into his glove and quickly over to first base. Kinzer Newquist tried to reach out for it, but was just a step too slow in his pursuit. Bryce Nittler was the player that hauled that pass in at first base, so credit to him, but new batter up for the Kingman Islanders. First pitch of this sequence going to be another ball. No strikes yet called or delivered by Kinzer Newquist. Jurovic, contact, foul ball to the left side. There is the first strike of the game. One ball, one strike. One out, as we just saw Shenyan Zheng deliver the pass over to first. Let's pick up. Well, the said first out. Once again, 1-1 count, 1-1 pitch, and it will be a fly ball. Going to head out, it looks like, to right field, and the Rebels bring it down for the second out of this opening half inning.
Now batting number 12, Nolan Friend.
Nolan Friend going to be next up now for the Kingman Islanders. Once again, 24 hours ago, Kingman got the better of the Newton Rebels, winning by a score of 4-3 in Kingman. For last night, a batting average of .362. Pretty solid night. Going to try and keep it going here, but it's hard to do that, of course, on the road. First pitch in, going to be called strike, down low, and looked like a little bit to the outside to me, but the umpire has a better perspective than I do, of course. 0-1 count. Now the 0-1 pitch fired in from Newquist out to third base. And Lance White can't quite haul it in. Instead, the runner Friend not going to round first base and head over to second. Shenyan Zheng stops him in his tracks, but maybe a bit of a controversial call as that play does stay alive. Looked like from up here the ball did get past third base before it went out of play. Lance White was just once again not able to haul that one in there before it went into harm's way. The ball did. Therefore, a base hit for the Kingman Islanders. They find themselves on first, but got to make it all the way over to home to take the lead here early on in the ball game. Lynn next up, take on Kinzer Newquist. Last night, batting average of .345 himself. Once again, Friend on first base. And Newquist going to try and get the strikeout here to put the top of the first to rest. Once again, this is the third from the last game of the 2024 campaign for the Newton Rebels. And that one gets past Jody Lopez at shortstop. And will be another base hit. Runner's going to be on first and second.
Number 3, Carter Helm.
Now Carter Helm going to step up. Once again, runners on first and second already for the Islanders here on the top of the first. But already two outs. So one quick out put up by the Rebels here off of a fly ball. Even a strikeout by Kinzer Newquist would get the Rebels out of this half inning. Scott's free. Chris Clark out at center field. Could see his name get called here for that said fly ball to the outfield. Ball one. Lance White over at third. Judah Lopez at shortstop. Stolen base opportunity stopped by the eyes of Newquist over on the mound. And then Jody Lopez over to third. And White finishes the job and gets the third out of the top of the first inning. When we come back, the bottom of the first will commence. Islanders trying to get on top of the Rebels, but we'll see what the Rebels can do in the bottom of the first themselves. We'll be right back here in Klein Scott Field. Jody Lopez is going to kick us off here in the bottom of the first from Klein Scott Field, where the Rebels going to try and grow their win total on the season, currently sitting at, I believe, 5 games. They got 3 more chances, counting today, to grow that total and end 2024 off with a high note. First pitch of this half inning, and it's to the outside. Jody Lopez is going to be facing a 1-0 count, 1 ball, still no strikes. One of the more prolific all-around players this year, athletes for the Rebels, and he kicks that one out to center field. And Jody Lopez not going to stay at first. No, he's going to turn back around and indeed stay at first. Thought about taking off the second. Now 35, Shinyan Zhang, second baseman tonight for the Rebels. Going to set up in the batter's box. Big number 35. But playing second base, filling in at that spot over the past handful of games, got selected to the JL Collegiate League All-Star team as a catcher earlier on in the 2024 season. Kind of a utility guy, it kind of evolved into, showed bunt, and going to be called a foul after contact was made. Strike number 1 of this sequence. Jody Lopez once again sitting comfortably at first, currently in the bottom of the first. No outs quite yet. The Rebels got out of the top of the first on the defensive side. Scott free after allowing runners to advance to first and second. But Kinzer Newquist took care of business. From the mound, Jody Lopez gets tested over at first, and it looks like he will get called out. Got a little greedy as she showed steal potentially from first to second. An unforced error. Going to put up the first out of this half inning and put the Rebels in a bit of an unfortunate circumstance or situation. Next one in, Shinyan Zhang, hard contact between center and left field. And he stays at first. Indeed, he's going to walk back. Good job by the Islanders of keeping The Rebels off of that second base, now to scoring position. So again, 1 out already in this half inning. Rebels going to step up to the plate now. Starting catcher tonight for the Rebels. Number 10. Only 1 out in this bottom of the first inning. Shenyan Zhang just got that beautiful base hit off his stick, right between left field and center field. He's now residing at first base. Islanders doing a good job on the defensive side so far of limiting the opportunities to really get past first base so far. Jordi Lopez couldn't do it, and also Shenyan Zhang couldn't do it, despite that heavy contact between center field and left field. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, and Rebels contact. Out, gets past the shortstop and past second base, and out into center field. It will need to be a base hit. Now Shenyan Zhang at second, Rebels at first. Jack Gardner not going to step up. There's a few home runs on the season, actually. 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Islanders going to look to kind of reset here on the mound. Here early on in this one, still bottom of the first inning. 1 out. Runners on first and second. Thank you to some of our financial partners in 2024 for the Newton Rebels. Newton Lions Club, one of the many sponsors for tonight directly. Midway Motors, American Family Insurance, Miller Insurance Agency Incorporated, Best Pest Control, Charleston Insurance, Faith and Life Bookstore, another one of the many sponsors directly for tonight here in Klein Scott Field and Union State Bank. Gardner receives that first pitch, a wild one. Shenyan Zhang advances to third, and Aiden Robles does the same thing to second. Now 2 runners in scoring position early on for the Rebels. Last time we saw the Rebels take the field here in Klein Scott Field Centennial Park. We saw them put the game away early off of that 10-run rule in the 7th inning. Handful of home runs put up. Could be wishful thinking, ask for the same thing for the Rebels tonight, but crazier things, I guess, have happened. 1-1, now the count. Once again, 2 runners in scoring position. Jack Gardner in the box. Going to try and put some of these runners home and put the Rebels up on the board. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 count, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Scripps out of Kingman, Kansas, fires that one in there from the mound, and Jack Gardner gets out at first, but Shenyan Zhang able to make his way home and put the Rebels on the board here, now up 1-0 in Centennial Park. Good start by the Rebels offensive. No, 2 outs. 2 outs indeed. A little bit of some miscommunication up here in the press box. What are we doing here? New batter up. First pitch in and called strike. 0-1 is the count. Sorry about that. Some miscommunication once again. No balls, 1 strike here so far for the Kingman native on the mound. Bryce Nittler, first baseman. We saw him put up one of the outs earlier on in the top of the first inning. Swings at that one and going to force, or maybe not force quite yet. Aiden Robles back to second. He successfully, if I can spit it out, steals his way from second to third. Now in prime scoring position, Nittler only needs to make contact and keep an out off the board. Would be the third out of this half inning. Would put the Rebels up 2 runs here in the bottom of the first. Now another contact, hard foul ball out to the right side. 1 ball, now 2 strikes. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. 1 more strike would put an end to the first inning here in Klein Scott Field, of course. We'll see what happens now. Thank you for joining us tonight for the stream, of course. My name is Adrian Holguin, and the Rebels trying to grow their win total on the season. And they're now contact made. Fly ball to right field. And no error is going to take place. Indeed, the first inning comes to a close. 3 outs, bottom of the first. The Kingman Islanders going to take the offensive try to once again and take this lead back after they took the Rebels down 24 hours ago on their home field. We'll be back. Welcome back to Klein Scott Field. The top of the second inning about to take place after the Rebels got one run in off the legs of Shenyan Zheng, putting themselves up 1 run to nothing. Once again, heading in to the top of the second. Kinzer Newquist still on the mound for the Rebels. Fires that one in there, and Chris Clark races over. Had to have raced a good 10 to 20 yards, it feels like, to take that one down. Now 1 out. Already in the top of the second inning. Brett Meyer going to be next up to be up and in the box, trying to put Kingman up on the board here in Klein Scott Field. Currently, once again, trailing 1 run to nothing. Kinzer Newquist fires it in there. A little bit up top for ball number 1, 1-0. Currently the count. Kinzer Newquist out of Southwestern College, Hutchinson, Kansas. Fires in the 1-0 pitch. That one, no signal from the umpire. Therefore, going to be called a ball to the inside. 2-0. You saw that first out brought down by Chris Clark from center field. Now Rebels gets that one in. That one called strike indeed. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rebels trying to grow their season win total up to 6. Tonight here in Klein Scott Field. And that one makes contact that time with Brett Meyer. Going to get the walk over to first. On first error that time put up by Newquist. Now Lane Wolf going to be next up. Lane Rolfs for King. Well, once again, we got this game and then 2 more here in Klein Scott Field, both today, tomorrow, and Saturday in the 2024 season for the Rebels. It's going to come to a close. Lane Rolfs out of Ellenwood, Kansas. Contact, beautiful contact between right field and center field. Chris Clark going to stop the runners over at third and second, but his throw off the mark to Lance Wyke over at third, and indeed Kingman on the board ties things up here in the top of the second. 1 run to 1 run. 1 put up, of course, by the Rebels. Another put up by Kingman, as we just saw Chris Clark kicking himself out in the outfield. 1 accurate pass over to third, or maybe even a pass over to second, would have stopped the runners and kept 1 run off the board here early on. Coaching staff for Kingman having a word now with the coach over on the left foul line. Not sure exactly what they're talking about. Aiden Rebels once again the starter behind home plate for the Rebels, big number 10. Only one out. Runner on second. Rebels gets that one in there for ball number 1, or at least takes it out of the air. Catching spot. Pake receives this next one. And contact made, but foul ball to the right side. Was ready to take off on that contact, but going to have to abstain for at least one more pitch. 1-1 is the count. Kinsey Newquist still in the ball game at Hutchinson, Kansas on the mound. Jody Lopez covering second. Heavy defensive formation favoring right field currently. Leaving kind of the spot between second and first base, or second and third base open for the taking potentially for the batters of Kingman. Swing and contact, fly ball out to center field. Chris Clark redeems himself after that previous error on his throw over to third and picks the second out of the air. Now 2 outs top of the second inning. Game tied up 1 apiece between the Rebels and the Kingman Islanders. Rebels trying to get some more wins on the board here before they end their 2024 season. Last game scheduled for this Saturday. This game taking place on Thursday, July 18th, 2024. The next game going to take place 24 hours from now. And then Saturday, once again, right here in Klein Scott Field, going to end the 2024 campaign. 0-1 is the count. We reset the batting lineup back up to the top. And Lance White can't quite get that one out of the air once again. And now one more runner heads home, and the Kingman Islanders take the lead. 2 runs, 2-1 here in the top of the second inning.
Number 2, Kevin.
2 outs still. Urovich up now 2 bats. Second up in the rotation. Head coach Justin Hinesley for the Rebels can't be too happy after some of these unforced errors put up by the Rebel defensive. Now Newquist tests the runner over at first. Nittler was not in position. Not in position. Wouldn't have even mattered. Newquist up to 24 pitches now. Pitch number 25 going to be coming on the way. 1 runner on first for the Islanders. Now it heads out into left field. And foul ball. Thought it might have been over the far wall. Didn't see it at first, but big time break right there for the home team, aka the Newton Rebels. Shoots once again trail 2-1. 2 outs already put up here in the top of the second inning. Gives a Newquist now kind of has it all in his hands. That right shoulder of his could end this inning with a strikeout. See what happens. Test the runner over at first again. To no avail. Now going to reset on the mound. To deliver this 0-1 pitch. Indeed it comes, and successful base stolen by the Kingman Islanders. Shinyan Zhang has to go up and collect that throw from Robles. Indeed brings it down, but not before the successful steal is made from first to second. Makes the count 1-1 for Newquist on the mound. Looks back over at second. Shinyan Zhang covering it, and his throw off the mark. And now the runner going to advance from second to third, and now from third to home. Kinzer Newquist, not the start he was looking for. Runner safe at home. Now the Islanders lead 3-1 here in Klein Scott Field over the hometown Newton Rebels. This half inning started with the Rebels leading 1-0, and now quickly the Kingman Islanders righting their wrongs. The wrongs we saw in the top of the first, and they've already put up 3 runs in this very half inning. 1-1 the count. Newquist resets, tries his best to, and fires in the next one. 2-1 now the count. Jervik still the batter up as he now faces the 3-1 count. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. This top of the second inning, the Rebels defensive kind of on their heels. Islanders already putting up 3 runs in this very half inning. That's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Chris Clark brings it down. The second out he produced in that half inning, but the Rebels now find themselves in a hole, down 3-1 as we enter the bottom of the second inning here in Klein Scott Field, Centennial Park. Stay with us. More action coming up for the Newton Rebels. Justice Hinesley, the designated hitter tonight for the Rebels, going to start things off here in the bottom of the second inning. The Rebels a bit shocked, I would imagine, after giving up 3 runs in the previous half inning to the Islanders, who now lead 3-2-1. First pitch of this half inning, and to the top. Going to be a 1-0 count for Hinesley, who was in the box. 2-2. Not yet the count. 2-0 is indeed the count. Two-0 pitch fired in. Hinesley hard swing. Going to be 2 balls and 1 strike. Hinesley swinging for the fences, trying to get on base and make his way around all the way over to home and put the Rebels potentially back up on top. We'll see how this half inning goes. Now contact made. Going to be a fly ball. Brought down in the infield by Kingman.
Number 27, Lance White.
Already 1 out, put up in the bottom of the second inning. 7:32 p.m. here in Klein Scott Field. Lance White, third baseman for the Newton Rebels, steps up to the plate, steps up to the proverbial challenge of digging the Rebels out of this hole as they trail 2 runs. We're over halfway through the second inning of play between the Newton Rebels and the visiting Kingman Islanders. 1-0. Now the count. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0 pitch fired in, swung at that time by White. Swung a little bit too early on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Now, no swing on the next one. Going to bring us to a 2-1 count here in Klein Scott Field. 2 balls, 1 strike. Slow and methodical, the long game being played by third baseman White, who swings at that one. Going to be a foul ball to the right side. Not brought down before it gets over the fence. making it unretrievable in the process. Count now at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. One more strike would put him away. Speaking of Wyke in the batter's box, and would put the second out on the board already in the bottom of the second inning. Skripczyk on the mound, fires in the next one. Wyke swings at that one, and a beautiful hit right over the top of the second baseman and right in front of the right fielder. Now, next up going to be Marco Ayala for the Newton Rebels. Playing right field today for Rebels is Ayala. Waits his first pitch. No swing, but called strike. We just saw Lance Wyke bat his way over to first base for the base hit. He's going to need a little bit, some help to make his way around the bases, if I would imagine. Only one out here in the bottom of the second inning. Big swing from Ayala, going to bring it to an 0-2 count. One more striker, one more swing. Unsuccessfully, I should say, would be another strikeout for the Islander defense. And no swing that time, out of control. Pitch. Now Lance Wyke gets over to second from first. Free advance going to put him in scoring position at second base. Brings the count to 1-2. Once again, Ayala up to bat for the New Rebels right fielder tonight in Centennial Park. And technically out of control pitch right in front of the catcher, but not going to allow Wyke to advance to third. Make the count 2-2. Skripczyk now up to 28 total pitches for the Islanders on the mound. 29 on the other side for Kinzer Newquist. Starting pitcher for the Rebels. That time a swing by Ayala. Going to keep the count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's not going down easy, to say the least, here in Klein Scott Field. Only one out still. So still technically an out to give. But see what happens. We did see last half inning the Islanders go down and put up a few outs early on, but they bounced back and found a bit of a run to put themselves up. 3 runs, 2-1. Which is where we sit at currently. Another foul ball by Ayala. Marco Ayala, outfielder out of Southwestern College, Pearland, Texas. It's coming from full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Deciding pitch going to be delivered here. Comes in and Ayala swings at it and going to head out into right field, and an error going to keep him at first base. Both of these teams not finding a lot of luck from the defensive side, at least in terms of keeping themselves clean. Chris Clark, they're not going to step up and try to keep this momentum going here and try to do what the Islanders did in the last inning, last half inning, I should say, at the top of the second, and go on a bit of a late run to put some runs on the board here. Chris Clark up to bat. Clark takes a look at that one. No swing. 1 ball to the outside and up top. 1-0 count. So runners on first and second for the Rebels, one of which in scoring position. If Chris Clark can get at least a base hit up on the board here in this at-bat. Make the count 1-1. A foul ball to the left side of Chris Clark, starting center fielder for the Rebels. Jody Lopez will be next up to bat following this at-bat for Chris Clark. Contact out to left field, going to stay alive, it looks like, but brought down for the second out of this half inning. Jody Lopez now takes the plate. Judy Lopez on the season. Indeed, he takes his spot. A batting average of 317. We once again have this game, tomorrow's game here in Klein Scott Field, and also Saturday before the 2024 season comes to a close for the Newton Rebels. Judy Lopez showing bunt on that one, trying to load up the bases. Going to get called for the strike as he indeed left the box. 0-1 the count. And the 0-1 pitch comes into the inside. Called ball on that one. Count now at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs still. Runners on first and second trying to advance their way home and cut into this 3-1 lead held by Kingman. Judy Lopez is going to have to help him out. Big swing. Down low. The second strike of this sequence. 1 more strike would end this half inning in a deflating fashion with the Rebels not getting a run up on the board. We'll see if they have anything to say about it. Judy Lopez has 1 more chance, at least. Receives it. Contact out to second base. And then he gets called out at first. Indeed, that inning comes to a close with the Rebels not putting up a run to cut into the 3-1 lead. The Islanders now have a chance on the offensive side to grow their 3-1 lead. We'll see what happens when we come back here in Klein Scott Field. Stay with us. "42 minutes into this affair between the Newton Rebels and the Kingman Islanders. As we head into the top of the third inning where Kingman is going to try and grow their 2-run lead here in Klein Scott Field. Kinzanuka still on the mound. And first up, going to be a fly ball in the infield. Lance White comes over and brings it down for the first out of the half inning. Austin Wynn going to be next up now. A quick 3 outs to end this half inning would be very beneficial for the hometown squad as they have to get back on the offensive and cut into this lead here sooner rather than later to keep themselves alive. Nucleus up to 30 pitches. 31st one now delivered and called a strike right down the middle. 0-1 the count, 1 out in this half inning, top of the third. Kingman on the season, going in with a record of 11-17, 11 wins, 17 losses, and a hard hit out to left field. Going to be at least a single, and now going to be a double as the runner indeed does advance. And indeed, a double hit that time put up by Kingman. Now it's 1 runner in scoring position right to the backside of Newquist on second base. Now Nucleus sets back up. Delivers the next pitch. Foul ball to the right side. Strike. 0-1. Now the count. 1 out here in this half inning, top of the third. The count. Only 1 out. That one out right to the left side of Jordy Lopez, and then out into left field. And that time Lance White going to keep runners from advancing to home. But runners on first and third here in Klein Scott Field. Kyle Reese. Now next up for Kingman, as they're kind of continuing that run that we saw them go on in the top of the second inning, where they put up 3 runs. All 3 of their runs scored so far. Now runners on first and third, as I just mentioned, and new batter up, and who could bring at least 1 run home here, but Kinzer Newquist going to try to have something to say about it. Tester runner over at first to no avail. So only 1 out put up in this half inning. Top of the third, Newquist only up to 34 pitches. Pitch number 35. Going to be coming up here. They get some of our host families for 2024. Becky Day, Carrie Boot, and Chris White family. Heather Michael Haskew, Hope and Monty Graber, Kelly and Matt Peoples, Kevin and Kevin Pouch, Melissa and Dennis Wardell, Michelle and Brent Kaufman as well. 0-1 pitch going to be waited on, as once again Newquist trying to get a free out over at first. Not gonna happen just yet for him. So some more of our financial partners: Platinum PDR Plus Paint, People's Bank and Trust, Patriot Roofing Services, Conrad Insurance Group, John Donald Family, Newton Rebels founder Carl Hutchison family, and Arma Coatings of Wichita. One ball, still no strikes. What I'm seeing from up here, 3-0 is the count. I knew something might have been off there. 3 balls, no strikes. And once again on first and third, 1 more called ball away from bases being loaded for Kingman here in the top of the third inning here in Klein Scott Field. And Newquist still trying his best to get a free out over at first. Still no luck coming his way. 3-0 pitch about to be delivered now. Indeed is delivered, and contact made with the batter. Pitch goes way to the inside. Bases now loaded. Bases now loaded. Robles going to have a word with Newquist now over on the mound. It gets a quick reset. Only 1 out, still put up in the top of the third with bases loaded for Kingman. The Rebels on their heels on the defensive side. At least it looks like, as of right now, Robles makes his way back. Rettmeyer waiting for him, who is next up to bat for Kingman. Once again, bases loaded for the visiting team here in Klein Scott Field. Rettmeyer receives the first one, no swing. Called ball to the inside. 1-0 the count. 1 more walk would put 1 more run up on the board automatically for Kingman. Not what Newquist wants to deliver here. Once again, no swing and called ball to the top. Now 2 balls on this sequence. Need 4, of course, for the walk, as we all know. Newquist pitch number 41. Now delivered, and that one in the strike zone. Called for a strike. 2-1. Okay, we're in the top of the third inning here in Klein Scott Field. The Islanders leading the Rebels 3-1. Now 3 balls. 3 balls and 1 strike, and 1 more ball would put 1 more run on the board here for Kingman. And the 3-1 pitch delivered and down low, and indeed the walk grows the Islanders' total runs up to 4.
Now that number 34.
And only 1 out, not the position that the Rebels were wanting to see themselves in. Rolfs now next up, 8th overall in the batting rotation. Only one out so far. As I just mentioned, Newquist, that pitch goes up top for another ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Newquist once again out of Hutchinson, Kansas. Delivers the next one called strike. Make it 1-1 here in Klein Scott Field. Bit of a not as much of a toasty day as we've been seeing the last couple times we've been out here. Last game was well into the triple digits. Today down in maybe the low 90s. I feel like a day off, I guess, in terms of heat. 2 balls, 1 strike now. 7:49 p.m. That one contact made out to left field and going to fall on the ground and looks like not quite going to stay alive. Going to be called a foul ball. Just barely. Kingman not too happy about that one, but got to deal with the cards you're dealt. Of course, 2-2 is the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Only 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. Islanders going to try and grow their total. And maybe end this game early here in Klein Scott. We'll see what the Rebels have to say about it. And another fly ball out in the infield. And Lance White brings it down for the 2nd out of this half inning, top of the 3rd. Striker Hake next up now, last 9th in the batting order. Once again, bases loaded right behind starting pitcher Kingman Newquist for the hometown Newton Rebels. 1 base hit or even a double would bring possibly at least 2 runs home. Don't want to get too greedy though. You want to get some hits up. Do it safely and do it cautiously. Was I'm speaking for the perspective of the Kingman Islanders. 0-1 is the count. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. 0-1 pitch, and in contact, going to bring at least one runner home. Another one rounds the base, and it makes his way home as well. Put the Islanders up 6-1 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Walchek next up now, top of the batting lineup. Kingman Newquist going to stay in the ball game. 6-1, the overall lead for the Islanders here in Klein Scott Field. 2 outs, going to reset the count. Forrest, 3 runs put up in the top of the 2nd. 3 now put up in the top of the 3rd by the visiting team. That one called strike. Runners on 1st and 3rd now for Kingman as we sit here presently. A potential walk would once again load up the base is not what Kingman Newquist wants to do from the mound. That one a bit of a wild pitch to the inside and up top. Now the 1-1 pitch comes in and contact made after Jordy Lopez. He's going to try and put this half inning away, and he does so successfully, but not before. Once again, the Islanders put themselves up 5 runs, 6-1 to be exact, as we head into the bottom of the 3rd inning, where the Rebels going to retake the offensive side of things and try to cut into this lead. We'll see what happens here in a matter of minutes from Klein Scott Field. Stay with us. Shinyan Zhang now going to kick things off here in the bottom of the third inning. The Islanders have the hometown Newton Rebels on their heels as they lead 5 runs here in Centennial Park. First pitch of this half inning up to the top, and Shinyan Zhang going to face a 1-0 count here early on once again in the bottom of the third inning. Now the 1-0 pitch comes in, and a hard swing from Shinyan Zhang going to be strike number one. Count now going to be at 1. 1 balls and 1 strike. Shinyan Zhang once again a JAC Legion League All-Star this season. For the catching spot, and that hit out to the shortstop, and then back over to first. And called out by on Shinyan Zhang. A beautiful play on the infield by Kingman. Holy smokes. For 33, Carter Helm, first baseman of Barton Community College, brought that one down from the first base spot and got a beautiful sequence of events to happen there. Unfortunately for the New Rebels, it does result in the first out of this half inning. Now a new batter up for the Newton Rebels, and that is Aiden Robles. 0-1 the count. 1 out now in this bottom of the third inning. 0-1 pitch heavily to the inside. Rebels leans back and avoids the contact. But the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Skripczyk fires in the next one. His 45th pitch of the day. And that one is gone off the stick of Aiden Robles. Cut the lead down to 6-2 here in Klein Scott Field. One of the handful of home runs we've seen over these past couple of home games for the hometown Newton Rebels. Once again, a 6-2 ball game now. Could that be the spark that Newton needed to turn their fortunes around? Going to reset the score here, 6-2. Once again, the total lead now for the Islanders. Still a lot of work to do for the Rebels, but Jack Garner up to bat. We'll see if he can keep the momentum on the side of the Newton Rebels. 6th next pitch to the inside, called a ball. Jack Garner, we've seen him have some success also from the batter's box this season. Handful of big plays put up for himself. No swing. Looked like he pulled back in time. Indeed, going to be, I believe, called a ball, if I'm not mistaken. One of the count, the 1-0 pitch comes in now to the inside. 3-0 the count. We're getting off here all willy-nilly up here. Goodness gracious. 3 balls, no strikes. 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. Jack Garner up to bat. We just saw Aiden Robles hammer one home behind the far wall, and Garner going to get walked. A 4-0 walk over to first.
Now at number 36, Bryce Nittler.
Bryce Nittler going to be next up, first baseman, starting tonight at that spot for the Newton Rebels. Kind of been going around the infield over the course of the past handful of weeks. It seems to kind of been fun this spot over at first. Jack Garner gets some words at that time from assistant coach Colin Parks over at first. Sets up. Could we see a steal from first to second? We shall see. That one called a strike right down the middle. 0-1 the count. So we saw the first out put up earlier on in this half inning. Rebels trying to cut this lead down even farther after Aiden Rebels put over that home run earlier on in this half inning. Strike number 2. 0-2 now the count on Nittler, first baseman for the Rebels. Bottom of the third, 1 out. Now the 0-2 pitch comes in, and swing from Nittler, going to be a double play opportunity. 1 out, and now 2 outs. Going to bring an end to the third inning of play. At the top of the fourth, going to come up here. The Islanders going to want to get some revenge after we saw that home run put up by the Newton Rebels just a few minutes ago See what they can do here. The Islanders leading the Rebels 6-2. Connor Chaso fresh on the mound in relief for Kinzer. Newquist fires in the first pitch, and it will be a quick base hit for the Islanders. Once again, the Rebels having trouble keeping the Islanders off of the bases as they try to stop this run that has seen the Islanders put up 3 runs in the top of the second and then 3 runs in the top of the third. And we'll see what they can do in the top of the fourth here. For the sake of the Newton Rebels, they're going to want to stop that real quick and try to cut into this lead on the other side. 1-0 is the count. No swing, ball to the inside. Make the count 2-0. Fred up to bat, big number 12. Just saw Jurovic head over to first on that base hit. Now gets tested over at first. In response, once again, in the top of the fourth inning, runner on first. Count at 2-0 with no outs yet put up in this half inning. None produced quite yet by the defense of the Rebels, but that was before this fly ball heads out to right field. And now, 1 out put up by the Rebel defense. Austin Lenning next up now. Take on Connor Chaso, who just subbed in at the start of this half inning of play. Aiden Rebels still behind home plate. Jordan Lopez at shortstop. Shinyan Zhang over at second base. Miller over at first, and White over at third. Pitch down low. Called ball by the umpire. 1 ball, no strikes. One-zero pitch comes in, and a big hit by White, and now double play opportunity is going to be not quite converted. Nittler couldn't bring in that throw from second, where Shinyan Zhang resided. 1 out. Make it 2 outs, actually. Spoke too soon. 2 outs in the top of the fourth inning. Runner going to stay over at first, but can't help but say that was a missed opportunity. Could have been the end of the top of the fourth inning. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite the hometown Newton Rebels. That missed opportunity, Connor Chaso. That one comes in and a fly ball out to the outfield, and Chris Clark brings down his one of many fly ball outs produced tonight. We'll be back for the top, not the top, the bottom of the fourth here in Clint Scott Field. The Rebels trailing 6-2, but could they be on a run? We shall see. Welcome back to Clint Scott Field. Justice Hinesley, the designated hitter tonight for the Newton Rebels, going to kick things off in this half inning. Once again, bottom of the fourth, the Rebels finally stopped the run from the offense of the Islanders, who put up 3 runs in the top of the second, 3 in the top of the third, and then none in the top of the fourth. But now the Rebels are going to have to do something themselves to make it all worthwhile. First pitch of this half inning, and outside the strike zone, make it a 1-0 count. Once again, Justice Hinesley, the designated hitter in the game, currently up to bat. 1-0 pitch comes in, no swing. Make it 2-0. Justice Hinesley has had some success lately from the batter's box. His return to action after a long injury took him out of the first 3 quarters of the season, or roughly. 2-1 count. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the fourth, no outs. Quite yet. 2-1 pitch in, and a foul ball from Hinesley. Make it 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the 2-2 pitch comes in, and up top, going to be a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Justice Hinesley up to bat, facing a full count. Receive the potentially deciding pitch, and gets hit in the back by said pitch. That gets the walk over to first. Now Lance White, number 27 left, our third baseman for the Rebels, steps up to the plate and going to try and do what we saw Justice Hinesley do and get on base any means necessary. Of course, no outs yet put up in the bottom of the fourth. We'll see him swing for the fences. We shall see. Rebels down 4 runs. Could use anything right now to cut into this lead here. Bottom of the fourth, 8:09 p.m. here in Centennial Park, July 18th, 2024. Ball to the outside, 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0 pitch comes in, and White contact out to the shortstop, and double play chance. Not going to be converted Justice Heinze gets called out at second, but Lance White going to be safe at first. Now Marco Ayala going to step up. Now we saw him get on base earlier on, big number 28. One run put up in the bottom of the first by the Rebels. One also put up in the bottom of the third. Could the bottom of the fourth have similar results? We'll have to see. One out already. Showed bunt. Did Ayala trying to put runners on first and second? One other count. 1-0 pitch delivered. Another foul ball. Make it a 1-1 count now. Skripczyk now up to 62 pitches thus far for the visiting Kingman Islanders. And a wild pitch, not going to allow White to advance over to second off of the potentially free stolen base, but still some miscommunication from pitcher to catcher. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch comes in, no swing. Now White tested over at first, it's going to be called safe. 3-1 the count. And I'm meeting at the minds over at the mound between catcher and pitcher that time. Maybe trying to kind of review some of those issues real quick, but just like that, gonna get back at it as they try to put this bottom of the fourth away and get back on the offensive side of things. Of course, speaking of the Kingman Islanders. The 3-1 pitch comes in to the outside, and Ayala, for the second time, is going to find himself tonight at first base. Runners at first and second. Lance White over at second. Ayala at first. Now Chris Clark, big number 12, sets himself up. He's going to pull down a handful of fly balls from center field, and we get the minds for the Islanders. Could see a pitching change. Would be a little bit early, though. Only 65 pitches so far tonight from starting pitcher Skripczyk for the Kingman Islanders. Might see it. We might not see. They might stick with them. And looks like we indeed will not see a pitching change. Didn't want to speak too soon on that one. I think the mind's looking to conclude on the mound for Kingman. Now Chris Clark makes his way back to the batter's box. Runners on first and second for the hometown Newton Rebels. Rebels trying to pick up their 6th win of the season here in Klein Scott Field. 6th win total for the 2024 season. Chris Clark facing an 0-0 count. We'll see how he looks to start this thing. Will he look to be conservative or be aggressive with one out already put up in this half inning? Showed a bunt. Called ball. Down low. 1-0 count. One out. The bottom of the 4th inning. 5th inning, just a few potential throws away already. Only an hour 13 in. Chris Clark showed a bunt once again. Would have loaded up the base potentially. 2-0 count. Count, one out, bottom of the 4th. Clark resets himself. 2-0 pitch about to be delivered. 2 more called balls would load up the bases. Pulls back in time for ball number 3. 3 balls and no strikes. 6-2 Islander lead. Pulls back and a walk over to first is going to load up the bases. Chris Clark over at first. 1 out. Already in this half inning. Not much to lose. Similar situation to what we've seen the Islanders put themselves in. Now another meeting of the minds. And it looks like we might indeed see a pitching change now for Kingman. At least I wouldn't be overall too surprised with bases loaded here in the bottom of the fourth with one out already put up in this half inning. And we'll be back after the pitching change concludes in the bottom of the fourth. Rylan Biles now subbed in for the Kingman Islanders, going to take his spot now on the mound for the visiting team, who leads the Rebels 6-2. The base is currently loaded for the Rebels with Jordy Lopez up to bat. One out put up in this half inning thus far. First pitch for Biles and called strike. Bit of a more sidearm motion, throwing motion for him. See if that kind of comes back to bite the batters of the Rebels, or how they look to attack that. 0-1 pitch. Jordy Lopez contact, going to be leaving the infield, and one runner heads home, and another one does just the same, and instead he comes back. Ayala does. He's going to be safe. The base is still loaded. Lance White makes his way home. Now the Islanders only leading 6-3. Anything can still happen. The Rebels putting up a fight here with Shenyan Zhang now stepping into the box with bases loaded. Jordy Lopez on first, Chris Clark on second, and Ayala at third. Yeah. 6-3 Islanders lead. Biles fires in that one, and Shenyan Zhang pulls back, but still called for the strike. No balls, one strike now with one out. Put up in the bottom of the fourth inning. Biles looks over at first, fires in the pitch. Zhang contact, out to center field. And the Islanders indeed get it out off the fly, but still, Michael Ayala comes home and cuts the lead down to 6-4. Now 2 runs put up in this half inning by the hometown Newton Rebels, who are staying with the Islanders 6-4. Their current deficit, Jordy Lopez still at first, and Chris Clark at second. Aiden Rebels now up to bat. We saw him hammer home a home run earlier on in the ballgame. Clark at second. Robles, no swing, called ball to the outside and up top 1 ball, no strikes in this current count. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th thus far. Chris Clark gonna successfully advance to 3rd, and Jordy Lopez goes from 1st to 2nd himself. 2 in scoring position now for the Newton Rebels with Aiden Rebels up to bat. Here's some of our in-kind supporters: Guerrilla Marketing Incorporated, Back Alley Pizza, MyLocalPlus.com, Magazine, Newton Rec Center and YMCA Newton, and the Greater Wichita YMCA and Summer Days Festival, which just took place this past weekend. Athletic Park, 3-0 count. Six-4 Islanders lead. Biles fires in the next one, and will be the 4th ball of this sequence, and now bases loaded once again for the Newton Rebels. Jack Garner up to bat now, big number 4. On the season, Jack Garner, .326 batting average. Bases loaded, no swing on the first attempt. First pitch, maybe I should say. Ball number 1. 4 balls would lead to the walk and put Christopher Clark home for the Newton Rebels. 1 ball, no strike. Bottom of the 4th, 2 outs. 1-0 pitch comes in to the outside. Ball number 2. Rylan Biles out of Pratt Community College on the mound currently for Kingman, 2-1 count. That previous strike. Garner still up to bat. 2-1 pitch delivered to the bottom. Right into the dirt. 3 balls, 1 strike now. Bases loaded. Guess a single would at least put Christopher Clark home and allow the Rebels to cut into this lead even further. They still trail by 2 runs. That time Gardner out to center field and will not be brought down. Out a center field error. Clark heads home. So does Lopez, and also so does Aiden Robles. 3 runs put up, and the Rebels back up on top, 7-6. 5 runs put up in this half inning. Rebels up 7-6. What a turnaround. They came in to this half inning trailing 6-2. And now, with only 2 outs put up, bases no longer loaded, they have put up 5 runs in this half inning. And once again, leading 7-6. Jack Garner at second base with Bryce Nittler up to bat. He's going to try and break Gardner home from scoring position where he currently resides. Biles looks back at second. Not going to test Gardner. Nobody's covering second base. Ball to the outside. Ball number 1 of this sequence. 1-0 count. Rebels up 7-6. And now contact made, but foul to the left side. 36 Nittler keeps himself alive. 1-1 count. Biles 1-1 pitch. Going to be Liberty resets. Looks back over at second. Fires in his sidearm. 2-1 is now the count after that ball was called by the umpire. Rebels trying to pick up another win. Here in 2024 will be their 7th win overall of the season. Trying to break their now 1-game losing streak. We saw the Kingman Islanders just last night take the 4-3 victory in Kingman over these very same Rebels. I was trying to avenge that loss. Doing a decent job so far. 3-1 count. Now making a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 4th. 1 more strike would put an end to this half inning. But 1 ball would keep it alive. And send Miller over to first. And now big swing and a fly ball going to be brought down by the defense of the Islanders, just outside of the screen that you are seeing currently. 3 outs. Puts it into the bottom of the 4th inning. Top of the 5th coming up. Number 24, Reese going to start things off here in the top of the 5th inning. The Rebels coming off of a half inning, bottom of the 4th to be exact, where they put up 5 runs over the defense of the Islanders to give them the 7-6 advantage. Currently, Connor Chaso on the mound just delivered that strike. 0-1 the count here in Clint Scott Field, Centennial Park. Once again, top of the 5th, and a swing and a foul. 0-2. So what that's going to make it. No outs, top of the 5th. So we're just getting started in this half inning here in Clint Scott Field, 8:27 p.m. July 18th, 2024. Pitch in, looks to be right down the middle for me, but the umpire thinks otherwise. 1-2. Called ball. Current count. Chaso going to try and get the strike in, and he does just that. Strikeout. First out of the top of the 5th. Indeed, a Mark Fox like it might get a realtor strikeout. Brett Meyer going to be next up now, number 4. Aiden Rose going to start behind home plate at the catching spot. Gary Lopez at shortstop. Shenyan Zhang at second base. Nittler at first, and White at third. Next pitch from Chaso in. Called a ball to the outside of the strike zone. 1-0 count. Right now. As we stand here currently. 1-0 pitch delivered from the mound. Make it 2-0. So that one called a ball again. Next pitch. A 2-0 count. Chaso going to try and get a little bit more inside. And that one is going to be a fly ball, but called a foul. Robles receives the ball from the umpire and fires it back over to the mound. Two on the count, if I'm not mistaken. 1 out in this half inning. Top of the 5th. Next pitch in, called strike. Make it 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Top of the 5th already. Rebels up 7-6. Next pitch in and called strike, and a strikeout. The second strikeout in this half inning.
Now that number 30, Wayne Rolls.
Now Lane Rolfs next up, 8th in the batting rotation tonight for the visiting Kingman Islanders. Top of the 5th, 2 outs. Connor Chaseau going to try to get his 3rd strikeout of this half inning. Strike number 1. Off that big swing. Rolfs going to want to have that one back. Now the 0-1 pitch comes in. That one too far to the outside to even be in contention for a ball. Count at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rolfs still up to bat. Connor Chaseau gets that 2nd strike of the sequence. 1-2. More strike will put an end to this top of the 5th. Chaseau fires it in, and a swing and a miss. And indeed, 3 straight strikeouts. Puts it into the top of the 5th. The bottom of the 5th coming up here. The Rebels red hot after a half inning. Where they put up 5 total runs, that would be the bottom of the 4th. Now the bottom of the 5th coming up. The Rebels retake their spot in the batter's box just as Heinze going to start us off here. Pitching change made after the previous pitcher only lasted 1/2 inning for the visiting Kingman Islanders. Drayton Denning into the ballgame out of Norwich, Kansas. His first pitch of the game sent in. Heinze puts that fly ball up in the air, and the Islanders unsuccessful in their pursuit. Going to fall to the ground for the foul ball and for the strike. Bottom of the 5th, 0-1 count, no outs. Denning getting set to deliver his 2nd pitch of the evening from the mound. Rebels up 7-6 after putting up 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning we just saw. Denning sends that one in there, called ball to the top. Put the count at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Denning resets himself, receives the signal, fires in the next pitch. And Heinze, contact made, fly ball out to the left field, and the Islanders bring it down for the first out. Now Lance White, 3rd baseman, number 27. Up to bat for the Newton Rebels. On the season, a batting average of 208 for the infield. But I don't think we just saw Ainsley get out on that fly ball out to the outfield. Ball one to the inside. Denny up to 4 pitches now. Getting subbed in at the top of this half inning. Pitch number 5. Sent in, and Wyke, fly ball out to right field, and the Islanders can't quite bring it down. Wyke going to be safe at first. Indeed. Now Marco Ayala had some success earlier on. Going to be up to bat now. 1 out, already put up in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here in Klein Scott Field, the Rebels up 7-6 for putting up 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th. Then he picks number 6, and Ayala gets that bunt off, and a beautiful bunt is going to advance the runner, Wyke, over to second, but Ayala gets caught for the out. Put up a fight on that one. A beautifully placed bunt by Ayala on that one. It's a step too slow in his pursuit to first, but can't fault him at all. Chris Clark next up. Wyke in the scoring position over at second for the Newton Rebels. And he looks back at second. Fires in the next pitch. No swing from Clark. Called for the strike. 0-1. 2 outs. The 0-1 pitch is going to be delivered from Denny. Called for the foul right to the backside of Chris Clark. Into the catch fence. Now 2 strikes in this sequence. 1 more strike and putting in the bottom of the 5th inning and send us into the top of the 6th here in Klein Scott Field. Denny out of Norwich, Kansas fires in that one, and Clark, a line drive out to center field, and the fly ball will be brought down by the center field of the Islander defense, and will bring an end to the bottom of the 5th inning. The top of the 6th coming up here in Klein Scott Field. Stay with us. Take 9th in the batting rotation sets up for the Islanders. Hunter Chaso on the mound for the Rebels here in the top of the 6th inning. Strike number 1. Hunter Chaso on fire, had 3 straight strikeouts we saw on the top of the 5th. That one called for the ball inside on the next pitch. Put the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Rebels up 7-6. 1-1 pitch. Fouled off for the strike. 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch comes in, no swing, and called ball just to the top side of the strike zone. 2-2 is the count. by Connor Chaser. Next one, called for the ball up top now on the next pitch, I should say. 3-2, full count. Deciding pitch going to be delivered here. For Connor Chaser, who's had some time at second base these previous couple of matchups, and now went out of control on the pitch and leads to the walk over to first. 4 balls, 2 strikes. Ball check now next up. Still no outs in the top of the 6th inning. Runner now on first for Kingman as he tried to retake the lead here, currently trailing 7-6. As we stand currently. Chase looks back over at first. Nittler residing over there. Fires in the pitch. Call for the ball down low. Robles keeps it out of harm's way. 1-0. Count. 1-0 pitch going to be delivered. Heads in. Ball to the outside. 2-0. Count for Connor Chaser, who had, once again, 3 straight strikeouts in the top of the 5th inning. Not the same luck so far in this one. Now ball number 3 with 1 runner already on first for Kingman. 3-0 pitch comes in. No swing and no contest. Connor Chaser, 2nd straight walk. Runners now on first and second. Aiden Robles going to meet with him over on the mound. Just got to reset here in a big-time way. One runner in scoring position for the Kingman Islanders. But he is coming off a half inning once again. We got 3 straight strikeouts. Not easy to do. Not easy to do. Not easy to do at all. But the Rebels still leading 7-6. So still in the driver's seat, at least in terms of the overall ball game here in Clyde Scott Field. New batter up for Kingman Islanders. That one called strike to the inside. Interesting. Jurevich up with 2 bats. 0-1 the current count here on the top of the 6th. Still no outs. Okay, so resets. Fires in the next one. Into the dirt. Chaser going to want to have that one back. Didn't quite make it to Robles. 1-1 count. Runners advance to 3rd and 2nd base. When the pitch comes in, big swing and a big miss for strike number 2 of this sequence. 1-2 count. Jurevich coming out of Mays, Kansas, the batter up for the Islanders currently. 1-2 count, and that one fired into center field. 1 run heads home for Kingman, and Chris Clark stops him with his throw over to second, where Xinyan Zhang hauls that one in. Still no outs. No outs in this top of the 6th inning. Game now tied up. 7 runs apiece. 7 runs for Newton, also 7 runs for Kingman here in Clyde Scott Field. Runners on first and third. Friend now up to bat after that one for the Islanders. Connor Chaser looks him down. Fires it in up top. Called for the ball, 1-0. Umpire not really giving Chaser much of the benefit of the doubt so far in this half inning. Seems like. And that one going to be a fly ball out to right field, and the Rebels able to bring it down. But not before 1 runner heads home. And then Robles, a bad throw out to second. If I can say that. Allowed runner to advance to third, while another one heads home. Here in the top of the 6th inning, the Islanders leads 8-7. 2 runs put up on the top of the 6th by the Islanders. Triple RBI right there, put it by Friend. Next one swung at, down low by Lynn. 0-1 count. One out here in the top of the sixth. One pitch comes in, swing and a miss again, 1-2. Islanders successfully taking the lead. Now up 8-7 after that errant throw by Robles. Missed the mark at second base. Now the 1-2 pitch comes in. Shin Zhang has a chance to get him out at first. Successful on his throw. Now 2 outs. Put up in the top of the sixth inning, but one more run heads home. Third run of this half inning for the Islanders, who now lead 9-7. Now Connor Chaso needs to reset himself.
Yes.
No runners on base currently for the Islanders after that sequence of events. 1-0 count. The 1-0 pitch sent by Chaso comes in up to the top. 2 balls now, no strikes. An hour and 46 minutes into this contest in Klein Scott Field between the Islanders and the Rebels. Chaso fires that one in there. Fly ball out to center field, and Chris Clark going to be able to bring it down and bring it in to the top of the sixth inning here in Klein Scott Field. Bottom of the sixth coming up here in this back and forth affair. The Rebels going to try and cut into this 9-7 lead when we come back into Centennial Park. Jody Lopez, top of the batting lineup tonight for the Rebels, up to bat to kick us off here in the bottom of the sixth, where the Islanders just retook the lead after putting up 3 runs in the top of the sixth inning. To retake the lead over the Rebels. Pitch number 1 of this half inning in and called strike. Not much put up there by Jody Lopez. Now strike number 2. Lopez might have thought that pitch was going a little too far outside. Why did it swing at it? But the umpire calls for the strike anyways. Seems like to me. Next pitch down low. Make it a 1-2 count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No outs. Here in the bottom of the sixth inning, the Rebels trying to pick up their 7th win of the 2024 regular season. Successful night here in Klein Scott Field. And now Lopez makes contact out to the shortstop and then is safe at first. No outs. Bottom of the
Number
sixth.
35, Kingman Zing.
Now, number 35, Shinyan Zhang, going to set up himself in the batter's box. Jordy Lopez safe at first after beating the throw just barely. 13 pitches in tonight for Kingman is indeed Drayton Danning out of Norwich, Kansas. On the mound, going to send in pitch number 14. Which comes in and Shinyan Zhang, but will get called out at first. Jordy Lopez advances to second.
Now at number 10, Aiden Robles.
Aiden Robles, catcher tonight for the Rebels, going to try and do his thing and try to get Jordy Lopez around the bases and cut into this lead. And Robles out of Oakleaf, Texas, attending at Pratt Community College. Then he looks back at second, where Jordy Lopez is currently. Fires in that pitch down into the dirt. Lopez is going to stay put. 1 ball. Then another 1-0 pitch. Lopez show and steal. Not going to take off quite yet. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 count. Faced by Aiden Robles in the batter's box. And that time Robles takes a swing at it, but called for the strike and called for the foul. Want to have that one back. Would have been the 3rd ball consecutively. And now Denning fires that one in there, and the out is made off the catch, and also the out made at second. Beautiful play. Holy smokes in the infield for the Kingman Islanders. Jordy Lopez heartbroken over at second as he could not get back there in time. But nevertheless, the bottom of the 6th comes to a close. The top of the 7th about to commence here in Klein Scott Field. The Rebels trying to pick up their 7th win 2024 season here in Klein Scott Field. Stay with us. Kyler Reese, number 24, going to kick things off here in the top of the 7th inning. The Islanders leading the Rebels 9-7 here in Centennial Park. My name is Adrian Holguin. Thank you so much for our meal makers for 2024 for the Newton Rebels, Pathways Care Women's Care Group, and Becky Day First Baptist Church, Newton First United Methodist Church, The Table, Hope Graber, Plum on the Go, Kim Pouch, American Legion Auxiliary as well. 1-0 pitch comes in, and a foul ball to the right side. The sun begins to set. The lights come on here in Clint Scott Field. 1-1 count. No outs yet put up in the top of the 7th. Chaso fires that one in there. Called for the strike on that pitch. One-two pitch comes in, no swing, down into the dirt. 2-2. And that one fouled off. Count going to say 2-2. Foul to the right side. That time in the early portion of the top of the 7th. Biles saw him get some time on the mound earlier on from Pratt Community College. Currently up to bat and a swing and over to Jordy Lopez, the shortstop, who then gets the out just barely at first. 1 out on the top of the 7th. Trent Rittmeyer going to be next up now on the top of the 7th. Going to try to avenge that out we just saw. Beautiful throw by Jordy Lopez over to Nittler over at first. Connor Chaso sets himself back. Now swinging a fly ball out to left field, brought down by the Rebel defense. 2 outs in this half inning. 2 outs, top of the 7th. The Islanders still leading 9-7. It's exactly what the Rebels need to get out of this half inning quickly and get back on the offensive. But then once you get there, you got to get some stuff going yourself. Lane Rolfs out of Southwestern Community College in the game out of Ellenwood, Kansas. And swing and a miss. Strike number 2. 0-2 count. We saw Chaso get 3 straight strikeouts in the top of the 5th inning. 0-2 pitch comes in and a swing and a miss. And another strikeout. Top of the 7th comes to a close. Bottom of the 7th coming up here for Clyde Scott Field. Welcome back to the Clyde Scott Field for the bottom of the 7th inning, where the Rebels are trying to retake the lead. They did put up 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning earlier on, but since then, kind of at a bit of a standstill. Haven't put up another run since. Jack Garner up to bat. Strike number 1. Start off the bottom of the 7th inning. 0-1 counts. Right, getting another pitch in there called strike for the 0-2 count. Denning looking over his intended target. That one in there into the dirt for ball number 1 of the sequence. 1-2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jack Gardner up to bat once again, number 4. Jack Gardner fly ball now out to left field, and not actually a fly ball, falls on the ground. Couldn't see it from all the way out here. Please see. At least the trajectory of the ball is the word I was looking for. Base hit for Jack Gardner. Now rests over at first. And now next up to bat is Bryce Nittler, first baseman. Nittler takes that one. Ball up top. Gardner almost got tested over at first. Avoids it. 1-0. Pitch. Down, heads in there. Fly ball. And brought down, as we can see, for the first out on the bottom of the 7th inning. Justice Hinesley, number 3. Designated hitter for the Newton Rebels. But coming on strong here late in the season. Indeed related to Justin Hinesley. Hinesley, no swing. Called for the ball inside. Just outside of the top left corner of the strike zone. 1-0. A pitch comes in that time just outside of the bottom left corner of the strike zone. 2-0. Jack Gardner over at first base. Pitch comes in, and on that time, Hinesley makes contact straight out into left field. Brought down for the second out of this half inning. Lance White, number 27, third baseman. Now up for the Newton Rebels with 2 outs already put up in this half inning. The Islanders keeping the pressure on here as they lead 9-7. That time White hard contact out to left field and advances Jack Gardner to second. And White stops at first base. Marco Ayala, big number 28. Next up to bat for the Newton Rebels. Ayala, 154 batting average on the season. Not a lot of time. Only 13 at-bats on the season, though. Now, a meeting at the mine's going to take place between catcher and pitcher for the visiting Kingman Islanders. And once again, find themselves leading 9-7. A short timeout, a quick break and play. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Jack Gardner at second. Ayala over at first. Ayala while talking it over with Colin Parks as they try to find a way to get these runners home and cut into this 2-point deficit that they currently face. Getting over at the mound between the infield of the Islanders. Everybody resets. So does Ayala, also over in the batter's box. Excuse me. That's White over at first. That's White at first. Jack Gardner at second. Ayala, the batter's box. Now I got it right. Pitch in. Out of control pitch. Jack Garner advances to third and not going to quite head home just yet. Lance White also advances over to second. Not a bad sequence of events, but only one more out to give if you're the Rebels offense. 1 ball, no strikes. So the sequence, Ayala up to bat. Denning heads back. Drake Denning to the mound. Not going to check second or third. Nope. Check second, actually. My apologies. Spoke too soon. Pitch comes in. Ayala swings at it and gets the foul over to the left side. 1-1. The current count. Denning, pivotal for the Islanders not to allow these runners to come home, to not cut into this lead that they currently hold. Be a big deficit and put a lot more pressure on their backs. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch now comes in down low. Make the count 3-1. Ayala could be about to get walked over to first. Would load up the bases for the Rebels on the offensive. Ayala receives the pitch. No swing and a walk. Is going to send him over to first base. Base is now loaded. Number 12, Chris Clark, center fielder. Up to bat now with a golden opportunity to put some runs on the board as a pitching change going to take place now for the Islanders as they try to put this game away here in Clarence Scott Field. Only 2 more home games, 2 more games left in 2024 for the Rebels after tonight, tomorrow, and a Saturday night. That's how I feel. Make sure to come out and join us. Pitching change going on, and we'll be back in just a matter of seconds.
Now the base round number 9, Billy Beltran. Now batting number 12, Chris Clark.
Chris Clark up to bat with bases loaded for the Newton Rebels currently. Pitching change made by the Islanders. Chris Clark no swing on that first potential attempt. Ball number 1. And now swing on that chance. Put the count at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike for Chris Clark. Bases once again loaded. 1 single or even a double would bring runners home and put runs on the board for the Rebels. And that one, a tough strike number 2. 1-2 called strike. 2 outs. Yamka, the pitcher, just subbed into the mound for the Islanders, going to reset himself to deliver the 1-2 pitch. Comes in up top. Hauled in for the ball number 2. 2-2 the count. To the count. 2-2 pitch comes in, called a ball again. Full count, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Cannot come out of this half inning with nothing to show for it with bases loaded. 3-2 pitch comes in, and Clark, foul ball. Keeps himself alive. Keeps the Rebels alive here in this half inning. Kept alive, Chris Clark. Everything's riding on his swing right here, and no swing potentially. A walk would put 1 run on the board and cut the lead down to 9-8. Umpire stopping things, and it's going to be a free walk for Chris Clark over to first, and therefore growing the overall run total for the Rebels. The Islanders are now leading only 9-8 if that interference call allows Chris Clark to walk over to first base. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Rebels need to continue to put their foot on the gas, get these runners home any way possible. Jordy Lopez next up. Number 32, shortstop. Jordy Lopez awaits the pitch, receives it, and gets called for the strike number 1. 0-1 count. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs. Bases loaded. And no swing again. That time, no strike call. Therefore, we'll put the count at 1. And crunch time here in Klein Scott Field, Centennial Park. Bottom of the 7th, bases loaded. Jordy Lopez, no swing. From the Wichita, Kansas native, 2-1 count. 2 balls away from tying this game up, potentially 9 apiece. And that time Lopez, hard swing out to left field and brought down by the Islanders, who are able to exit the bottom of the 7th with the 9-8 overall lead here in Klein Scott Field. The Rebels going to have 1, maybe 2 more chances to right their potential wrongs. We'll see what they can do in the next one. We'll see. Striker now up to bat for the Islanders, heading into the top of the 8th inning. A pivotal 8th inning that could decide the victor of this matchup between the visiting Kingman Islanders and the home Newton Rebels here in Klein Scott Field. Strike number 1. Spoke too soon, just about. Top of the 8th once again. Connor Chaso staying on the mound for the Rebels. Islanders leading 9-8. A heartbreaker for the Newton Rebels as they have bases loaded in the previous half inning, but only had 1 run to show for it. 0-2 count. Now 0-2 pitch comes in and called strike to start us off here in the top of the 8th inning. Connor Chaso stays composed. Wolchuk can be next up now to bat for the Islanders. Connor Chaso staying composed, as I just said. Face of adversity. He needs some quick outs here. Put his team back in the potential driver's seat. Give his team a chance to get some more runs on the board. That one, fastball inside. 1-0 count. 1 out, top of the 8th. We gets out the strikeout. That's 1-0 pitch called for the strike. 1-1. Top of the 8th. 2 hours and 16 minutes in this game. This evening, that pitch goes down low for the ball. 2-2. Or 2-1, I should say. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two-one pitch on the way from Connor Chaso. To the inside, called for the strike off a swing. 2-2. 1 more strike for the second consecutive strikeout. This half inning. 2-2 pitch. Comes in and is down low and to the outside. Going to be a full count now. Aiden Robles have to reset himself. Full count deciding pitch. Delivered from Connor Chaso. Chaso, contact made off of the bunt, and then the out converted at first base to Nittler. 2 outs, top of the 8th inning. To Kevin Birovich next up now. To bat for the Islanders, who need some runs and need to hold off the Rebels. Only leading by 1, 9-8 in the top of the 8th inning. 2 outs. Birovich sets up in the box. Chaso stares him down. Chaso sends in the pitch. No swing, called ball to the outside. 1-0 pitch going to be on the way. July 18, 2024 is when this game is being played. Call strike. Off the foul ball, 1-1. 2 strikes away from the 3rd consecutive strikeout for Connor Chaso. Chaso sends in that one. Outside the strike zone. Just to the outside. Wanted to force the swing. 2-1. 2-1 top of the 8th is the count. That one will be a fly ball out to the outfield. Chris Clark races up. And an outfield error going to allow the base hit. He stopped the runner at first, but could have been a great opportunity to get that 3rd out. Another friend going to be next up now. Connor Chaso sets back up after allowing that base hit. Probably not at the fault of his own. It was more of an outfield error. So fires it in there. Stolen base chance. And Shinyan Zhang not quite able to get him out. Going to be safe at second. Friends still up to bat for the Islanders. 1-0 count. 2 outs. Shinyan Zhang try to plead his case for getting that out on the stolen base attempt. To no avail. Connor Chaso sets up himself. Fires it in, and that is a fly ball. Let's White going to try and chase it down. Can't quite get there in time. 1-1 count off the foul ball. 2 more strikes from the top of the 8th, being to a close here in Klein Scott Field. Justin Hines had to throw that ball in there as that foul ball went straight in. 2 that I got for the hometown Newton Rebels. Now back in the action, it's Connor Chaser. Chaser fires in the pitch. I want to fly ball out to center field, and Chris Clark jumps up in the air and brings it down. Brings it in to the top of the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th coming up here in Klein Scott Field. Stay with us. Welcome to the bottom of the 8th inning. Klein Scott Field. Shenyun Zhang going to start us off here as the Rebels try to flip this lead around and retake it. Currently down 9-8. Shenyun Zhang swinging a miss. Strike number 1 in the bottom of the 8th. Shenyun Zhang got a Taiwan senior out there. No swing. Strike number 2 here early on. 0-2 count. The 0-2 pitch comes in and a swing up high. Forced that time by Drayton Denning.
Number 10, Aiden Roll.
Excuse me, actually, a substitution. Williamka comes in there. 38-39. Hard to see that from the press box, man. What are you going to say? 1 out. Shenyun Zhang faces the strikeout. 3 straight swings and 3 straight misses. 1 out. And now ball number 1. On the next one, Aiden Rebels up to bat. Let's once again up 9-8. The Rebels need to get something going here right now as quickly as possible. Rebels no swing. Called ball to the outside and just outside of the up top right corner of the strike zone. 2-0 pitch comes in up top, 3-0. Robles could get walked over to first. Depending on what we see here, bottom of the 8th. A 3-0 pitch comes in straight down the middle for 3-1. First strike sequence. One pitch comes in. That one called for the ball number 4. Quick walk over to first for Aiden Rebels. Jack Garner. Next up, gonna try. Maybe get an RBI. Send Rebels home. One home run would indeed put the Rebels up 10-9. Only 2 more chances max for the Rebels to get back on top here in Klein Scott Field. Jack Garner, big swing and a miss. Swing for the fences. Strike number 1 off the miss. From number 4, Jack Garner. Owen pitch comes in and no swing and no strike call. 1-1. Now from Will 2-1. Second ball of the series. 2-1 count. 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Jack Garner, no swing and no strike call. 3-1. One more ball would put runners on first and second for the Rebels, who trail 9-8 still in this ball game. Gardner, no swing, and indeed going to be walked over to first. Runner's going to be on first and second now for the Rebels. Aiden Rebels at second. Jack Gardner at first. Now, made between the catcher and the pitcher, probably just saying, hey, let's close this thing out. We're not going to make it go to crunch time. You can get this thing out right now. Only need 2 more. New batter up. It is Nittler, first baseman. Another no swing. Once again, called thought for the ball, but instead thought it might have been a strike. I guess umpire going to keep it a ball. The next one, firmly outside the strike zone. 2-0. Only 1 out so far in the bottom of the 8th inning. Anything can happen here. Nittler might get walked over to first, would load up the bases. No swing. Ball number 3. 3-0 count. 1 more ball needed. Nittler once again no swing, and they'll free walk over to first. Going to load up the bases now with only 1 out. Take it up to the bottom of the 8th. And a meeting of the minds going to take place over on the mound. Could see a new pitcher come in for Kingman with bases now loaded here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Only 1 out being put up thus far. Or they could decide to stick with current pitcher, Will Yamka, out of Kansas Wesleyan. Looks like that might be what they do indeed. They're going to stick with them. Here in midway points. In the bottom of the 8th here in Klein Scott Field, the Rebels a beautiful chance with Justice Hinesley taking batter's box up for himself to get back on top and with bases loaded. Bottom of the 8th inning, only 1 out thus far. Yamka fires in the first pitch, called ball up top. Not much resistance. 1-0 is the count. He's got only 1 out thus far. Justice Hinesley out of Southwest Baptist College, Springfield, Missouri. No swing, called for the strike number 1, 1-1 count. Next one, contact made on Hinesley. The game now tied up 9 runs apiece, 9 for the Islanders. for the hometown Newton Rebels to try to pick up their 7th win of this 2024 campaign. Only 2 games left after this one, both of which will be played here in Clan Scott Field tomorrow night and also Saturday, weather permitting, of course. It's Wyke. No swing, called strike. That pitch right down the middle from Yamka. Strike number 101. Only 1 out, bottom of the 8th also. 1 pitch, sent in down low for the ball, 1-1. One pitch going to have to be waited on. Yamka making sure he gets the right signal, likes the call from the man behind home plate, staring right at him. And that one, contact made to Wyke. And just like that, the Rebels go up 10-9 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Off of the 2nd consecutive walk allowed by Yamka on the pitching mound for the Islanders. What a changing of events here. The Rebels indeed up 10-9 in the bottom of the 8th. Only 1 out so far put up. Ayala, no swing, ball number 1 on his first attempt. Bases still loaded. Crunch time now for the Islanders. We're going to be tested big time in the top of the 9th inning. Strike number 1, big swing from Ayala. 1-1 count. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 pitch coming up here. Still full bases loaded here in Clan Scott Field. Ayala has a chance to bring at least one of them home. A solid hit out to the outfield. Ayala no swing again. Another ball. Moves over to 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 pitch. He forces the swing. It does Yamka on Ayala. 2-2 is the count. 2-2 is the count. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So still, after Ayala, we'll still have 1 more chance. And a strikeout. Going to be the 2nd out of this bottom of the 8th inning. Chris Clark stepping up. Chris Clark, center fielder for the Newton Rebels. Got a handful of fly balls out from center field today, but making plays all over the place on the defensive side. First pitch in and forces a swing from Chris Clark. 0-1 is the count. One pitch going to be coming up here. Yamka looks back over at first. Fires in the pitch, and Chris Clark swings hard at it. To no success. 0-2 is the count. 0-2 is the count. 0-2 pitch going to come up here. Clark going to have to face the fire, and he does just that. Swings at that one, and the 3rd strike of that sequence leads to the 3rd out of the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rebels go into the bottom half inning of play, or the last half inning of play potentially, only up by 1 run over the Kingman Islanders. Can they get it done? We shall see when we come back here in Clan Scott Field. Stay with us. Welcome everybody into the top of the ninth inning. The Rebels leading the Islanders 10-9. If they can get quick and successful 3 outs, this game will be over here in Klein Scott Field. But Islanders have proven themselves to be kind of pesky, not going away lightly tonight against the Newton Rebels in this back and forth high-scoring affair in Centennial Park. Wyatt George is subbed in onto the mound to close things off for the Rebels. Ball number 1 up top. Wyatt George 1-0 pitch. Comes in, and that one called for the strike just inside. Lynn Anna currently to start us off once again on top of the ninth. Wyatt George fires the next one in there. Called ball down low. 2-1 is the count now. No outs yet put up at the top of the ninth. Rebels have a chance to put this game away. Wyatt George fires that one in there. And contact made. Jordy Lopez gets underneath it. Or no, can't quite do so. Base hit. Put up over to first. Lynn getting a rest over there. Connor Helm next up now. Connor Chaso not happy with himself. Had a chance to pitch to get that first out of this top of the ninth inning. Rebels up 10-9. Chance to put this thing away. Helm getting some words over from the coaching staff before he heads over to the batter's box, as we can see. Helm steps back up to the plate. Wyatt George up. Just could try to get runners on first and second, or at least advance the runner from first to second. Sacrifice. But, and a swing and a double play chance. Jordy Lopez, one, and the second one in as well. 2 outs, top of the ninth. Double play, 2 outs in the top of the ninth. No runners on base for the Islanders. Rebels only need 1 more out to put this game away. Wyatt George out of Tabor College on the mound to close things off here tonight. George sends it in. Comes in down low. His first pitch of the sequence does. 1-0 is the count. The 1-0 pitch. Comes in, no swing, and called a strike. Goes out and in on that pitch. George again forces the swing. Second strike. 1-2. 1-2, 2 outs. George fires in the 1-2 pitch and forces the swing. And actually, no, it will be an out-of-control pitch, allowing Reese to head over to first. End of the game going to be prolonged. If Rebels could have kept that one out of harm's way, the game would be over. As we sit here, currently 2 outs, runner on first now for the Islanders. Brett Meyer now up to bat for Kingman. George sends that one in there. Strike down the middle. George once again getting subbed in to close this thing out here in the top of the ninth. 16 fires it in. And ball up just high. Ball number 1. 1-1 is the count now. Brett Meyer once again up to bat. George's 1-1 pitch. Waited on. And now delivered and a foul ball. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Once we pitch 1 more strike, put it into the ball game here in the top of the ninth. And then George Throws that one in there. Calling a ball. It's pretty far back to the inside. We thought from up here, 2-2 count. One more strike needed to end the ball game. 2-2 count. And once again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And now a 2-2. A fly ball, pop fly. Going to be brought down. Not quite. Shinyan Zhang couldn't get there in time. Runner's going to be on first and third. 2 outs, top of the ninth. Laney rolls up. Now had 2 chances to put this game away. Unsuccessful on both attempts. Corey Reese, number 25. Out of Pratt Community College. Up to go. Subbed in here late for the Islanders. Wyatt Druid fires in that one to the outside. Ball number 1 of the sequence. Rebels once again have had 2 chances to put this game away. One of which did not happen because of an out-of-control pitch. The other one was an error on a pop fly. Called strike, 1-1. Two out in the top of the ninth. The Rebels trying to put the Islanders away. One pitch comes in and a contact out to left field, and the Rebels able to bring it down. Beautiful play by number 4, Jack Gardner, who puts the ball game away here at the top of the ninth. 3 outs. And with that, the Rebels pick up the first win of their 3-game back-to-back home slate. Back-to-back-to-back home slate. One more game on Friday, another game on Saturday, and the 2024 campaign is over for the Rebels. They're going to try to come out with a high note, maybe 3 straight wins. We'll be back 24 hours from now. The second from last game in 2024 for the Newton Rebels. Make sure to come out and support here in Klein Scott Field. Or if not, you know where to find me right here where you found me tonight. My name is Adrian Holguin, and the Rebels come out victorious over the Islanders after 8.5 innings of play.